After nearly 5 years away from Spain, King Juan Carlos I has returned, reigniting national debate and global attention. At 87, the former monarch's presence carries profound symbolic weight. His return is not simply a personal homecoming, it is a reckoning with history, legacy, and the controversies that have surrounded him for decades. To understand why his reappearance is so significant, it is essential to examine the full arc of Juan Carlos's life, the scandals that forced his exile, and what his return means for Spain and the monarchy today. Juan Carlos ascended the throne in 1975, following the death of General Francisco Franco, at a moment when Spain faced the fragile prospect of transition from dictatorship to democracy. The nation was divided, wary of political instability, and uncertain about the role of a monarchy in a modernizing Europe. Juan Carlos, initially perceived as a Franco loyalist, quickly established himself as a champion of democracy. His decision to support the Spanish Constitution of 1978, which limited the monarchy's political power while ensuring democratic governance, earned him widespread acclaim. He became a symbol of national unity, credited with guiding Spain through a delicate period of transformation. For decades, Juan Carlos was celebrated domestically and internationally. He represented Spain at a time when its identity was being reshaped, balancing tradition with modernity. Yet, as the years passed, the sheen of his reputation began to tarnish. Reports of lavish spending, opaque financial dealings, and extravagant vacations began circulating. Investigative journalists uncovered evidence suggesting that the former king had accumulated wealth through complex offshore accounts and received gifts from foreign businessmen, raising questions about legality, transparency, and propriety. The scrutiny intensified when allegations emerged linking Juan Carlos to large sums of money from Saudi Arabia, reportedly funneled into private accounts. While the former king denied wrongdoing, the revelations triggered public outrage. For a monarch who had been once universally admired, the contrast between his celebrated public image and alleged private actions was stark. Spaniards began questioning whether their former king had used his influence for personal gain, and whether the monarchy could remain an institution of moral authority under such circumstances. By 2020, the pressure reached its peak. Juan Carlos left Spain and settled in Abu Dhabi, a move officially described as voluntary exile. This sudden departure shocked the nation. For King Felipe VI, Juan Carlos's son and the reigning monarch, the exile presented a delicate challenge. He needed to protect the credibility and stability of the monarchy while navigating a highly charged public and political environment. Felipe VI took decisive steps to distance the crown from his father's controversies. He renounced any inheritance linked to alleged misconduct and emphasized a vision of a modern, transparent monarchy, signaling that accountability and ethical governance would define his reign. Juan Carlos's years in Abu Dhabi were largely private, yet speculation and media attention followed him relentlessly. Every development, from legal inquiries in Switzerland and Spain to whispers about hidden wealth, kept him in the headlines. Public opinion was polarized. Some viewed him as a victim of media sensationalism, a man whose personal choices were being magnified by political agendas. Others saw his exile as a necessary measure to protect the monarchy from reputational collapse. Now, Juan Carlos has returned, and the questions surrounding his legacy are more urgent than ever. Central to this return is his forthcoming memoir, co-authored with French historian Laurence Debré. The book is positioned as an opportunity for the former king to present his perspective on decades of public service, personal decisions, and controversies. In a statement, Juan Carlos said, "I feel my history is being stolen," framing the memoir as a corrective narrative intended to clarify the story of his life. Analysts suggest that this publication could reshape public understanding of his reign and influence ongoing discussions about the monarchy's credibility and relevance. The implications of his return are multifaceted. On one hand, it represents a desire for closure and personal vindication. Juan Carlos is seeking to reclaim agency over his legacy, ensuring that the narrative of his contributions to Spanish democracy is not overshadowed entirely by scandal. On the other hand, it introduces renewed tension within the royal family and the broader public sphere. Will his presence undermine King Felipe VI's efforts to modernize and stabilize the monarchy? Could revelations from the memoir reignite legal scrutiny or public debate? These questions have captured the attention of historians, journalists, and citizens alike. Legal and financial experts note that some investigations into Juan Carlos's financial dealings remain active. While statutes of limitation and legal technicalities may shield him from prosecution in certain cases, the memoir itself could impact ongoing inquiries. Any disclosure of previously undisclosed transactions, gifts, or decisions could potentially influence legal and political discourse. This delicate interplay between public perception, historical narrative, and legal accountability makes his return a highly consequential event. Public opinion remains divided. Supporters argue that Juan Carlos deserves the dignity of a return after years of self-imposed exile, emphasizing his pivotal role in establishing Spanish democracy and guiding the country through critical historical junctures. They recall the king's defusing of the 1981 coup attempt, a moment widely regarded as cementing Spain's democratic transition, and note that his earlier years were marked by courage and vision. Critics, however, warn that his return could reopen unresolved issues, drawing attention away from the monarchy's current governance and raising uncomfortable questions about accountability at the highest levels. This tension encapsulates the complexity of Juan Carlos's life, a man who shaped history but whose personal choices continue to provoke debate. The timing of Juan Carlos's return also carries symbolic weight. Europe's monarchies are currently navigating generational transitions, heightened public scrutiny, and evolving societal expectations. By returning now, Juan Carlos places himself at the intersection of history and contemporary relevance, forcing Spaniards to confront both admiration for his past and critique of his recent actions. The balance between honoring historical achievement and confronting misconduct is now at the forefront of national discourse. Cultural and emotional factors add further nuance. Many Spaniards feel nostalgia for a period of optimism and unity associated with Juan Carlos's reign. He remains a living connection to a transformative era in Spanish history, when the monarchy played a stabilizing role in a fragile democracy. For others, his return represents a cautionary tale about the risks of unchecked power and the moral responsibilities of public figures. This duality, admiration and skepticism, illustrates why Juan Carlos continues to dominate public attention, even in retirement. The broader implications for the Spanish monarchy are significant. Felipe VI has worked to establish a transparent and accountable crown, emphasizing ethical standards and modern governance. Juan Carlos's presence tests these efforts. Every public appearance, media interaction, and revelation from the memoir could influence public trust, political debate, and the monarchy's credibility. In this sense, the former king's return is not merely a personal matter, it is a test of institutional resilience. For historians, journalists, and citizens, the situation presents a unique opportunity to analyze the evolution of the monarchy in real time. Juan Carlos's life encapsulates the transformation of Spain from dictatorship to democracy, the challenges of maintaining public trust, and the interplay between personal behavior and institutional reputation. His memoir will likely provide insights into these dynamics, offering both narrative and context, while inviting scrutiny and debate. In conclusion, King Juan Carlos I's return is a moment of profound significance for Spain. It prompts reflection on the evolution of the monarchy, the responsibilities of those who wield symbolic power, and the ways in which history and legacy are remembered. His exile, scandals, and homecoming offer a vivid illustration of the complexities of public life at the highest level. The former king's life has always been intertwined with Spain's destiny, and his return serves as a reminder that even in retirement, the actions and words of a monarch can shape national dialogue. In the coming months, every statement, public appearance, and page of his memoir will be closely examined. Juan Carlos's homecoming underscores the enduring relevance of the monarchy in contemporary Spain while testing the resilience of public trust and institutional credibility. It is a story of power, scandal, legacy, and redemption, one that continues to unfold before the nation's eyes.